of Gray Shiksha Kendra, and he is National Convener of MSI, Mission Sustainable India. And second, we have presentation of Dr. Rajesh Arora sir. He is a PhD holder in grounding, and he will discuss electrical safety of homes and buildings. And then we will have a general question and answer session with both the panelists, and we will take general questions regarding residential electrical safety, energy conservation, and these will be questions of you and us, which we always want to know the answer. And then we'll have a snapshot of Mission Sustainable India, which will be delivered by Sri Vibhu Charan sir, and he is the secretary of IMP, Indian Association of Energy Management Professionals. So firstly, we will have a quick session of the presentation by by Sunil Supra. So over to you, sir.
You want me to start?
Yes, sir.
Earlier, it was decided, no, Dr.
Okay,
Rajesh.
fine.
Safety first, actually, safety first.
Okay, safety will be first. So Arora sir will start his session now.
Thank you, ma'am, and thank you all the respected members of YAM. I don't have exactly what to say, how to say thank, because all are senior and legends, and becomes very difficult to say words before legends. And I will try my level best to make it very simple, because yes, safety comes first. Then equally, energy efficiency is equally important, but we have to give importance to safety. And I'm thankful to Sood sir for giving me that opportunity to start my presentation on safety of homes. And I'm going to share the screen right now. Actually, I'm not getting the option to share.
Let me check it. Just a minute. Please try once again.
There are some issues, I think.
You have to pay. Please try once again.
They are not allowing me to share the screen. I think you have to give me some permission.
Okay. You already. You try once. You have been made as a co-host and you are allowed to share. Try once, please.
I am trying. Sir, it is not allowing me to share screen. There are some issues. Otherwise, you can share the screen.
Okay, just
You have the PPTs with you. I want to use my PPT. That will be better.
okay. Will you exit once and join once again? Hope. Or you want me share? Can you see it?
Yes, yes, make it full screen, just.
Is it okay now?
Yes, very much okay. I welcome everyone. This session is about electrical safety for residential building, and I am Rajesh Rai, learner. Okay, and when I say safety, when the safety is on, all accidents are gone, and safety rules are the best tools to save the life. This is a mantra, and what I feel, the safety is a choice. It's a mindset. We have to change our mindset towards electrical safety, and we have to follow the rules. And it is very mandatory to follow the rules, because whenever we see some accident, it gives us pain. It gives pain to the inner core of our heart, and we feel very depressed, and we feel helpless also, because it is our moral responsibility to do something as electrical engineers of electrical safeties are concerned. I am here because I want to see my India free of electrical accident. And I believe safety is a matter of choice, and we can definitely make it. Safety is not a subject of training. It is a culture, and we have to develop that culture. And I want to spread the message of safety by my pledge, RPD-GUI. And RPD-GUI is nothing. It is the Rajesh Arora pledge for development of grounding understanding in India. And we have to work together to make India free of electrical accident because of poor or ineffective or inadequate grounding or earthing system. We have to take pledge, and each pledge matters. I tell you that thing. That is very important. If you look at all this data, electrocution kills nearly 30 Indians a day. We talk about the pandemic, we talk about disease, we talk about the accident, road accident. At the same time, we have to give full attention. 30 Indians are being killed every day because of electrocution. And if you look at the data, 42% fire accidents are caused because of short circuit in electrical circuits. 13 deaths every day in India because of electrocution and fire triggered by electrical short circuit, and 8% of death in the factory are because of electrical accidents. Next. And I will try my level best to make it very simple. And to make it simple, we have to understand in a very simple way. Now, I would like to start with the very simple question to make the session interactive. What is the most important thing in your life? One thing you can't live without. Please answer. And the answer is very simple. This one. We can't live without this mobile phone. When we talk about the mobile phone or laptop, the charger comes in the pictures. And I request everyone, when you are spending money, lakh of rupees on your mobile or your laptop, give due attention while purchasing the charger, and you have to look at two things. One is the square in the spare that ensure the double insulation security. And at the same time, you have to look at the IS 13252 or IC 60950 part 1. That ensure the safety. Next. Now, apart from that, I have told you I want to make everything safety subjects is very in a simple way. There are only 3 parameters we have to look upon. The very first parameter is the voltage. Second is the current. Third is the frequency. When I say voltage, in case of voltage, I have to take care of the insulation level. I have to take care of the insulation capacity of the insulation I am using in my gadgets, in my system. When I say current, I have to take care of the overloading. I have to take care of the sparking. I have to take care of the heating effect of my current. Third is very important part, frequency, and that is the harmonics being generated by different gadgets being used at home. When you are using these gadgets are developing, creating harmonics. And harmonics basically are waveforms of multiple of your fundamental frequency, 100 hertz, 150 hertz, 200 hertz, 250 hertz, 300 hertz, even harmonics and odd harmonics. And because of these harmonics, we are facing problem. The all harmonics creates heavy currents in the neutrals, and we have to be very much careful while choosing the size of neutral. When we talk about the harmonics generation, we have to use harmonic filters if required to neutralize, to offset the effect of that harmonics in our systems. All these things are very important, because when you are not providing the proper earthing, or you are not taking of the grounding systems, and earth becomes unearthed, and when system is unearthed, that is a disaster. It is bound to happen. No one can stop that disaster. We have to be very much careful. And when I say grounding and bonding, we have to understand grounding and bondings are very important part. And when I say bonding, main bonding and supplementary bonding both plays vital roles. So for the safety of buildings, residential buildings, hospitals, hotels, industrial buildings are concerned, this is a picture that is giving the idea of bondings and earthing. Next, sir. What happens when we talk about short circuit? Sir, previous one.
It is okay.
No, I think that there is as such no slides are there now, right now.
After this bonding, this one flow fall current to the source.
Yeah. Yes. Kindly zoom it. This one. But kindly zoom it, sir. It is coming in the window.
Screen presentation is not happening.
Okay, it's not.
No. It is showing in a separate window.
Okay.
Your presentation is off.
Yes, your presentation is off, sir. Kindly make it on.
So you do the presentation in your system. I think you are using another system for this.
Yeah, now it's visible.
Yes, it is. Now it's okay. Yes. Actually, whenever the short circuit terms are used, the meaning is very simple. Your phase wire is touching to earth or neutral. That becomes short circuit. When it is touching the neutral, that's not a big issue. In that case, this relays can operate. This MCBs will come in the picture. But when it is touching the earth, the only device that can save you is your RCB, residual current circuit breaker. RCCB or LCB is the oldest name. this device can be used. And you have to be very much careful, and for residential purpose that should be 30 milliampere. At the same time, when you're talking about the protection systems to against the short circuit and the fault current, be careful while choosing the MCB. That should be B type, not C type or D type. When you are choosing the B type MCB, it means it will operate 3 to 5 times of the short circuit level. When you are using your C type, it will operate 5 to 10 times. When it is D, it is 10 to 20 times. And I'm quite sure D type and C types, in case of requirement, fails to operate and becomes a cause of fire. Next, sir. This is an analogy of fault current path. What happens whenever there is a short circuit on some fault happens in the systems or residential building, it has go back to the source. And the source in case of residential building is your main panel. Every short circuit current will have to go back to the panel. When it is going back to the panel, it will definitely flow through the overcurrent protective device. That is your MCB, and that will protect against short circuit. And when we talk about the fault and the shock, your RCB come in the picture. Residual current circuit breaker will help you to protect your life. This is an analogy of ambulance. When you give space to ambulance to reach to the hospital in minimum time, at the same time, the fault current has to go back to the source in a minimum time, otherwise there will be disaster. People will be getting shocks, and there will be ignition of fire if there is some delay in the disconnection of system. Automatic disconnection of supply is mandatory in case of such scenario. This is depicted by another picture concept of electrical shock. Next, sir. When we talk about hazard in the building, there are only 5 main reasons: overcurrent, overload, harmonics, earth fault, electric arc, overvoltage because of lightning. Next, sir. And to ignite any fire, you need 3 things. You need oxygen, you need heat, you need fuel. And heat is given by the heating effect of current. This is a short circuit concept I already explained. I want to devote more time on the question and answer. This is a failure of insulation. When you are not taking care of the insulation, such deterioration of insulation will create problem. Overloading in the outlet. You should not overload your socket. I have already shown the proper selections of MCB plays very vital role. In the absence of proper selection, it won't operate. It will be total wastage of investment, and that will be the eyewash. It won't operate. These are the BCD types of curve. You have to be very much careful while selection of MCB. Always select B curve type MCB for your houses. Mind it, B type you have to choose. Next. Avoid sparking because of poor insulation and the loose contact. You have to avoid it. Otherwise, there may be arc flash. Arcing ground concept comes when the earthing systems of distribution transformer of utility becomes loose or it is removed. In that case, what happens, the phases which are sound, which are healthy, the voltage of that sound phases becomes double or equal to the face-to-face voltage, and your gadgets start failing. And that is not in your hand. Only the over voltage protection can protect all these things. Next. Harmonics, I have already explained. Even harmonics, odd harmonics, total harmonic distortion. You have to be very much careful while choosing the gadgets you are purchasing. Lightning protection, yes, sometimes you face some problems because of the lightning. To take care of that thing, you have to use such protection device to avoid lightning problems in the building. When your structures are unprotected, it may create overvoltage and your gadgets may fail. You have to use SPD with proper designing as per IC 62305 Part 2 risk assessment to be done. And this is very important slide. What happens in previous time, 10 years ago, every consumer was consumer. They were just consuming the electricity, but now they have become consumer. They are consuming as well as they are producing the electricity in the forms of solar. When they become consumers, it plays with the your power factors of your residential building, and when your power factor becomes low, it generates more current to take care of the power requirement of that load, and when more current starts flowing, it becomes a problem. Next. And you should not forget this some IS 732 talk about some tests to be performed before energization of any installation, and you have to take care of that rules. Rules are there to avoid all the accidents. Next. Last but not the least, safety comes first. Already expressed by Sulsab. And I can tell you one thing, this is not the end, it is just a beginning. And when we start working together in the directions of safety, definitely the change will be there. Next. And this is a journey we have started. We have to make India free of accident. This is my dream. You have to take pledge to make our India free of accident because of poor earthing and poor observations of safety rules. With that, thank you very much, everyone. And I am ready to take question after the presentations are over.
Thank you, sir, for your great presentation. And it enlightened us with electrical safety and what measures we have to take on electrical safety. Now I request Sunil Sood sir for his presentation. We'll have a quick presentation, then we will have question and answer session. And members or participants, you can have your questions. You please type your question in chat box, and we'll take these questions at the last of the session. Sunil Sood sir, over to you.
Good evening to all. I am not able to share. Again,
Sir,
I also have the same problem.
I'll do it for you. I don't know what is the problem, but
That latest one, can you share the latest one, which I posted today morning?
Okay. There are two PPT. One is HRME horn for SD presentation. Part
1 and part 2.
Okay. It will take some time, sir. Just a minute.
Yeah.
But I hope you can. I don't know.
In the meantime, I think most of the participants have already seen, I think, my presentations, and it is more about home energy and resources management for sustainable development. So here each word has some importance. Where what we are saying about home, what do we mean by home? So here home, of course, means our own house where we live, but also it also means home means where the locality where we are living, the city where we are living, the state, the country, and as a whole planet as our home. So in the larger meaning, home should be taken up that way. So home, energy and resources management for sustainable development. Energy here again, not only conventional commercial energy forms of energy, but also non-commercial as well as our own inner energy and cosmic energy including. So in the broader sense, energy means that. And resources, of course, all forms of resources, water, land, and other mineral, all types of resources, because we are living in a finite planet, everything is limited, so resources are also limited. Then management here is not in terms of means strictly in the form of what we manage, but rather leadership means we should be able to provide leadership so that whatever we do is within the replenishable capacity of earth. And sustainable, of course, we have been talking about sustainable means ability to sustain. And here in the broader way, again, we are saying that sustainable development means the development, which is a standard definition, the development which meets the needs of the present without sacrificing the ability of the future generations to meet their own needs. And in the broader sense, UN has also come out with how we can achieve that sustainability in terms of 5 Ps. Means in terms of 5 Ps means planet for the environmental sustainability, people means social sustainability, and prosperity means economic sustainability, peace, and partnership. So we have been talking about 5 Ps of sustainable development. So means whatever we do, whatever way we use energy and resources, they should be all in such a way that they are environmentally benign, socially acceptable, economically viable, and also foster peace and partnership. This is the gist of the presentation, today's presentation. And the idea was not that to educate you all, because already you all know a lot of things. Idea was to further educate others, because there is a huge need for trainers training, rather experts training, who should be able to give these type of presentations in colleges, in schools, in societies, communities. So our idea was not just for educating you, rather just to go, just to see that we ourselves how we can present it to others. And here I would love to have inputs from you, how best we can do it. And these presentations are actually in two parts. One is sensitization, another is action. Sensitization is actually the major issue, because unless we get sensitized, we do not take action. So that is why we have conceived this home energy and resources management in the way that first of all we should sensitize all the consumers, home consumer or whatever, and then make them feel that okay, let make them ask question. Okay, I know now this is the problem, but what action should I take? So then you can come to the actions, second part. So I'll just rush through because time is short. We should rather have more question answers. So Vibhuji, just rush through the slides,
sir.
because explanation will take a lot of time. So this is more like a trailer, you can say. And anyone can stop me. Anyone can stop this where which slide if anyone has any question. So we already seen this 5P. Next, please move fast. Next slide.
Poonamji, perhaps you are doing it. Kindly do it. Poonamji is controlling the screen.
अच्छा अच्छा, पूनम जी आप तेज इसको तेज चलाते जाइए, क्योंकि आइडिया ये था कि हम जैसे और बहुत 100 लोग 1000 लोग ऐसे प्रेजेंटेशंस, ऐसे एक्शंस का वो सारा समझाएं दूसरे लोगों को. That is the idea.
Poonamji, can you hear me? You can run through the presentations. This one at slide 2. Perhaps it is not moving.
It's not moving. So basically what in this presentation part 1, we have shown how conservation and efficient use of energy and resources is linked with sustainable development. How these 5 dimensions are linked with your
Is it
consumption,
not
the
moving?
way you use.
It is not
Because
moving.
there
In
is-
fact, you have to don't make it a slideshow mode.
Please enable editing, then only it moves.
Right from beginning, this is I think in middle, show it from the beginning. So basically, this is linking with the sustainable development dimensions. What is the need for why economically it is required to save energy, conserve energy and use efficiently? Because if you use it efficiently, you are sparing time, you're sparing energy for others' users. And it makes sense for others to provide other energy so that they can work more, then they earn more. So it means you are increasing the economic sustainability of the poorer people. If you are only cornering all the energy just because you have money, then availability to the poorer section in terms of quantity of energy as well as quality of energy goes down. So their economic sustainability gets affected. Then environmental reason is if you use more energy, it means you are polluting more. So because energy use it results in pollution. So if you are reducing saving and using efficiently, you are reducing pollution. So that is the environmental reason. Then social reason means social disparities are there, and until unless you have equitable distribution of resources, you are not actually helping these all the society. So these are the 3 key reasons. Then how it fosters peace and partnership, because once you use everything in a very justifiable and a transparent, more equitable manner, then you indirectly avoid conflicts. There are no people will be feeling bad that I'm deprived of these resources and all that. So there is some sort of partnership, and peace is also the reasons. So these are all depicted in my slides in the form of pictures, which I have myself taken over the last 15 years, whereby anything related to economic sustainability, anything related to social sustainability, anything related to environment sustainability and all those are shown in form of pictures. And then when we go through those slides, people who are presently totally unsensitized. Unsensitized means their senses, it should go in their senses, means it should go in their blood. It should be it should become their part of DNA. When to that extent it goes, then only they start thinking. So until unless you show them, see, because of our wasteful uses, our inconsiderate uses, all that, this is how things are happening. And then unless we are part of the solution, presently we are part of the problem. How to be part of the solution, and why should be part of the solution? That is, why should be part of the solution is sensitization, and how we can be part of the solution is action. So this is just now you can rush through. Let us have more time for questions. So these are all I have explained. Quickly you can run. These are the economic reasons. Then these are all economic reasons. So subsidy, social reasons. See the present condition. Social reasons, then environmental reasons, pollution. They use polluting energy, then it affects their health. And how we are using water, same place, wastage. All these things, when we explain, actually this presentation takes at least half a day to explain properly. But the idea of today's our session was more as a panel discussion, and that is to make you fresh in memory. This presentation is being rushed through. So is it the action of God? So this is in Vidhan Sabha, Bangalore, where there is a on the Vidhan Sabha it is written government work is God's work. But it is our work. Yeah. This is how we misuse, abuse energy and resources. We can rush through fast. I've already shared the presentations. People can go through it early again and also ask questions on every slide. I want questions on every slide, which can be taken up later on. And all these things we can then present, we can create with everybody's contribution. We can publish it in the form of a book also. Trainer's manual. Each and every slide takes at least 2 minutes to explain.
Sunil sir, what is this negawatt and megawatt?
Megawatt and negawatt means negating the requirement is negawatt, and producing more power is megawatt. So supposing there is a need for 500 megawatt power. Now focus is always on setting up new power plant. Now solar power plant, this and that. So they keep spending on megawatt. But if I take a challenge and I tell, okay, there is a need for another 500 megawatt, I will save 500 megawatt. How much money you will give? So that way we are saying that we should give equal importance. Without giving importance to megawatt, you should not directly jump to megawatt.
Thank you, sir.
This is a typical, justification people you give for tree to why you cut the trees. But if you do this type of thing, more energy will be consumed actually. Now what you have done to save say, one tree, this is all examples of silo working I give, where people see from one angle only. Now what has happened? You have increased the vehicles have to slow down and again, so it is increasing the fuel consumption. Yeah, actually, all these slides are very interesting, but because the time is not there. Yeah. So as I said, home means we should think in terms of the tomorrow child also. Tomorrow child who is not yet born, and what is our duty for him. Yeah. Next, so we will come to the next presentation, action. Quickly, we'll go through that action, and then question answers can be taken up. So I think once we go explain these all properly, I have seen many people who are totally unaware. They get very nicely sensitized and they start asking about what all actions we need to take. So action, under the action part, we start with the charity begins at home, we say. So what we say is simply that you should appoint a member of your own home as a home energy manager. Or in case of community, I have seen I have tried even in Ranchi, where locality we used a security man. One security fellow, we trained him. Evening after this hour, you should switch off this, and when to start the pump, when to you run the water pump. All this because to save the peak load, to reduce the peak load, and all. So many ideas are there where security people can be actually explained. And security people, at least 50% salary of the security people can come from the conservation, from the reduction in energy bill. एनर्जी इसके बारे में लिखा है ये walk the talk. Next, this is also 10 commandments for lean, clean, green. Lean means using modestly, clean means using efficiently, green means renewable energy. This also again takes time to explain. Next. So this is not about say saving money for you, saving environment. Main thing is your own conscience. Your own conscience will be clear that whatever I am using is with whatever is needed, that much only and efficiently I am using. So this is what this pyramid approach we have new. Actually, this is old presentation. A new pyramid I have prepared now for energy as well as for water. And these principles we should understand very well, because we tend to do something which becomes actually a negative energy. Many examples I have seen, people think they are saving energy. So when do we really save energy? That question should be asked. Next. So ABC approach means accounting, budgeting or best practices and committing, controlling. This is the approach we say that unless you account, how do you account? That accounting you have to explain how can we account our electricity, how to study the bill. If people don't even know how to go through how the billing is done. That also they don't. Then if you take reading every day, morning, evening, you get lot of data. So people don't know most of the people don't know what is a unit of electricity. All this needs to be explained. What we are saying is that there has to be a cadre of trained manpower who will be trained this way, and then they will in turn go to homes and educate them how to set right everything, how to set the thermostat, how to use appliances, when you use appliances, when it consumes more, when it consumes less. All that has to be first trained cadre has to be created, because it is not only about common sense. It is also requiring some explanation. So that explanation has to be explained properly. Otherwise, people won't know. So this is the calculation. If you leave the appliances on remote and not switch off from the mains. So this calculation I have done in typical home. Yeah. Next. So this we used to demonstrate that your so-called 0-watt bulb is not 0-watt. Actually, it is 7 to 12 watt and all that. And LED can be same light can be given. This is old picture actually. So electricity, see now in future we all know that everything is going to happen through electricity only. So that is why we must understand electricity very well, that it is the highest quality energy, and it needs to be duly respected and duly used. And how it is to be done, that is what is explained. The thermostat setting, if you set at the higher level setting, then it will consume double. Fridge will consume double than the minimum. So that has to be explained to the users, that as per the season, as per the loading, all that, how to set the thermostat. You should not blindly follow the instruction given by the manufacturers, because manufacturer gives the instruction very safely. They don't want to avoid want anything, so they give very safe instruction. But it is for us to educate the people, because you just see there are so more than 5 crore fridge all over India. So every house has a fridge. Fridge is the only item which is totally connected always. Then if you target this 0.5 unit per day into so many crores fridge, energy can be saved if only with smart and intelligent use of appliances. Next. So these are all we need to explain. Yes, next. Super energy fan, how to see super energy efficient fans are the only item having built-in conservation as well as efficiency. So in question I will explain this, how this is the only item having built-in conservation and efficiency. Next. Of course, we should use 5-star, but again here I have my own views. Next. All these things we need to explain properly. Next. Then water saving. I have demonstrated how can you clean your car with just 1 liter of water. Next. All these things, that pyramid conservation idea, efficiency idea. Then over that renewable. Next. These type of conservation techniques we will not recommend. Next. There is a lot actually to be explained. I don't want to take much time. Just go through this all slides. Actually, crime prevention is also one of the best energy conservation idea. People offer themselves for the crime. Most of the crime scenario, if crime happened, and all that we should avoid. First priority is learning about the safety. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. A great presentation by you. So now we will take some questions, some general questions, which like as a resident, as a homeowner, I want to ask, or people must be wanting to ask. So first question is, are there some government rules or safety rules for energy conservation and electrical safety, which we should follow?
Okay.
Both of you can answer this question, because energy conservation we have some rules, and for electrical safety we have some rules.
Yeah,
So
far electrical safeties are concerned, prior to 2010, Electricity Rule 1956 were in the existence. Now they have been repealed and they have been replaced with CA Regulations of Safety 2010. Okay. And if you
sir,
really want to know more about, there is one very well written IS 732, and you can combine it with IS 3043. You can combine it with BS 7671. You can combine it with IEEE 80. You can combine it with IC 60364. All these will help you to understand more about the safety, or you can read NFPA 70 guideline, NEC US guideline, to know more about the safety requirement you need when you are going to shift to a society or a house to live in.
so these are norms we must know, or we must know about, like, are being followed there or not?
Apart from that, I would like to take away 10 P's. The SUSAB talk about the 5 P's, and talk about the 10 P's of safety. And it starts with a proper conceptualization, means what you want to do, what kind of building you are going to make. You must have good concept of that thing. Then comes proper designing and engineering of your concept. Then comes the proper specification of the gadgets you want to install there. Then comes the proper inspections, so that you can comply with the specification you have made. Then comes erection and commissioning of the gadgets in a proper way. Then comes the proper clearances and the cooling requirement, heat dissipation systems. Then comes proper connection with earth. Then comes proper condition monitoring. Then comes the proper coordination. You have to try relay in a very proper, intelligent manner, so that you can provide the safety. Then comes proper use. That means that the gadgets connection should not be through cords. That should not be loose. That should be of proper rating, overloading to be avoided, insulation quality to be maintained. Last but not the least, it should be contamination free, because the dust particles, ingress of water always creates problem. These are the 10 P's of the safety you have to keep in mind, like 5P of sustainability already expressed by Honorable SUSAB.
This is regarding conservation rules, what you are saying. For home domestic level, there are no guidelines or rules. For bees, keep posting certain ideas. And only for the construction, this ECBC is there, but that is only for 100 kilowatt and above.
And
There are no rules as such. Yeah. Let us
Sir,
do it quickly, because time is
Can I
very
add
short.
something
Some
to it?
people have, ask some questions.
Yes, sir. We'll take some of the questions here. Sir, we confuse like renewable energy with energy conservation. So, what is the difference between renewable energy or installing solar power plant and energy conservation, and why energy conservation is necessary, and why we should take care of energy conservation
Actually,
in our houses?
this confusion has happened by DISCOMs. They started thinking that conservation of energy can be done by supply side option. So actually, solar is a supply side option. It is not a demand side management. So then people thought, okay, we can as well have two renewal, but renewal energy is different. Conservation is different. Conservation means when you are avoiding or eliminating or reducing all this of your energy needs, either by behavioral changes or smart and efficient ways used, or you can use even technology. Now conservation is happening through technology also, like sensors and other things, timers. So conservation can happen manually also as well as through technology. That is when you're avoiding the need of energy. Renewal means you are again need supply side option. What I showed that megawatt. Megawatt is conservation, megawatt is renewal or other non-renewal both.
Okay. And what are ghost consumer?
Hmm?
Ghost
consumer.
consumer. You
That's
talked
those
about
consumers,
ghost consumer.
those who are having the standby consumers, like we have a remote, the TV remote. There is SMPS there, switch mode power supply. So you want to use it, anytime without going to the switch. So you have a remote. Those are called ghost consumers because you may use only 4 hours, but remaining 20 hours they are on and they keep wasting electricity. So if 10 watt is used, then 20 hours it will be wasted. 20 into 10, 200 watt hour into 30 days, 6 units will be wasted only because you left the TV on remote. So these are that is why these are called ghost consumers. They steal electricity from your home without your knowledge.
Correct. So some questions we'll take from the chat box. Arvind Thakuralji is saying, what gadgets to use for loose contact? This question is for Aurora sir, I guess.
Yes. Actually, when we talk about the loose connection, the best instrument is the thermoscanner you can use, because with thermoscanner you can identify the loose connection. And the second method, that is the basically to be done offload, that is the continuity of your circuit and the resistance measurement. That give you fairly good idea about the loose connection in the system.
Surendra Das ji is saying, any standard for checking the domestic earthing, and after how many years? I think he is saying after how many years we should do earthing work.
I have already explained the governing IS 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 3043, and that covers everything. And to know more about IS 732 is also there, that is associated with the same thing. And the safety rules, yes, CA safety rule regulations also talk about earthing connections. Some clauses are there for the buildings and offices. You can refer all these clauses.
Ashok Kumar Tripathi ji is saying, hospital fire in ICU are attributed to heavy air conditioning load and poor cabling. Any revision in standards?
Yes. I would like to throw light on that. Actually, what happens, except India, everywhere you go, they are using class 2 wire. But in India, if you go to the market, you will find only class 5 type 5 kind of cable. And if you see, you compare the resistance offered as per the IS 8130 table number 1 or table number 2, you can see the difference. There is a difference of around 10 to 12% between the resistance offered by two types of cable of the same size. That means you are inviting that damage to happen by creating more heat in the system.
Sheila Hari Krishnan is saying, how about geysers that are on for long time, but it is said after heating it automatically switches off. This is a
What is that?
how about geysers that
Hmm.
are on for long time, but it is said after heating it will automatically switches off.
Yeah, if it is left on thermostat, what will happen? It will heat, achieve the temperature, and you have used, and again it will reheat. Again it will heat, and if you left it, because of the delta T, inside temperature is say 70-80 degree, and outside is say 10-15-20 degree. So there is a delta T of 60 degree. Because of that, heat losses keep happening. So as the temperature falls down, again the geyser will be on. So you should not leave the geyser on thermostat. Even your setting of thermostat should be around 60, 55, 60. Many people leave it at 78, 75, 80 because you are going to use water at 50, 45, 50. So it depends, of course, it will be the storage geyser or what, but idea is you should not you should not leave the geyser on thermostat. It should be switched off. Otherwise, standing losses will be there. So every geyser has a standing loss mentioned by B level. So while buying, you should buy the geyser which has the lowest standing loss. Standing loss means if you leave it on thermostat full day, how much energy it will waste. That is called standing loss. So lower it is, better it. But that is just an indication to buy. Doesn't mean you leave it on thermostat. Use it, put it off through name.
So I hope some of you have got your answers, and due to time constraint, we won't be able to take more questions. And we will note down all these questions so that we can take them in our next sessions. So now I would like to call Vibhu sir
Yes.
so that he can
Regarding
give a
this,
quick.
yeah, Vibhuji, okay.
But I think
Session.
we can extend a little bit. There are a few questions, important questions. If you can take up all the questions, will be great. We can extend for time being.
Yes, yes.
There are
Yes,
some question on how to get the IS standard for homes. What are the relevant websites? So if Dr. Arora can educate on that.
Okay.
How to get IS standards.
You can purchase all the IS standard online also. You have to register yourself on Bureau of Indian Standard, and after registration you will get some password and link. Some standards, safety standards, are totally free, absolutely free, and for some standards that are not related to safety, you have to buy it.
And anybody can also answer the questions which has been asked. Then also Tripathi Sahab has asked that fire hazards associated with electric vehicle, such cases are being reported, whether such cases are being reported or not. Any comments on fire hazards with heavy? Recently in Secunderabad, a lot of people died, and there is a lot of cases are coming up. Any lights on that?
Actually, sir, without knowing the root cause of that fire, it is difficult to comment upon. That will be totally wrong. Actually, the people are doing the investigation. Let the investigation report come out, then we can comment upon.
Okay. Now, when you are supposed to conduct the regular testing of house wiring, is it required for yearly or twice?
Yes. The moment you buy a new house, before you energize the system, you have to conduct all the tests. That is mandatory. Don't buy the bogus certificate from the contractor sitting outside the utility department, and it is mandatory to conduct all these tests as per the IS 732. That is compulsory, but people don't have time to conduct all these tests. They are in a hurry to energize everything, and they want to shift to new house immediately. Even after each replacement of wiring, you have to test it before you energize it again.
And what is the frequency once somebody has settled in? What is the frequency after which, how many years again he has to recheck it?
5 years, after 5 years, it is mandatory to test your wiring, and you have to get the certificate again. That is to be submitted.
5 years. Okay, fine. How to get salient points need to be taken care of electrical grounding.
Definitely, I am going to share. I will prepare one that salient features, and I will share with you.
Okay, I think fire resistant enclosures junction boxes are used to maintain electrical and electronic circuit integrity to emergency lighting, power and control. Apart from taking all precaution, automatic fire suppression is required in MCC panel DBs to control and put out fires. Okay, these are some kind of thoughts.
I would like to throw lights on this very important topic. What happens? We are using the fire detection systems and panels in the buildings to protect ourselves during the fire, and they can detect the fire. But what happens for these systems? We are using type 2 wire, type 5 wire. That is not appropriate, and we are using the ordinary wires. In such situation, there is a very special wire that is called low smoke, zero halogen kind of wire to be used for fire detection system that we are not using. What happens whenever there is fire? The two things plays very important role. One is the smoke density and the visibility index. In case of PVC, the visibility becomes 0 and smoke is 100%. In that case, you become helpless, and the disaster becomes more. Basically, there is more casualty because of this improper knowledge and sections of wire we are using for the fire detection systems.
Then, okay, one question from Prasad sir. Contractor of hospital are installing lower gauge copper wires. Load increases in hospital by adding equipment. This is one of the major cause of fire.
True.
How to educate the hospital owner?
Sir, I don't want to comment on that legal issues, but yes, true. The situation is like that.
How to educate the hospital owners? Whether any
Yes. I am making video every day. That will be definitely reached to the owner, and they will definitely automatically being educated.
Okay. Now, Sunil sir, one question for you. Now, if you see any city, lot of lights are in garden or billboards, hoardings, several office premises. How do you say on that? Whether you switch off all the lights?
I have already replied. I feel that now with so much of efficiency in lighting, unnecessary too much we should not worry about lighting load, because lighting is also needed for safety. Lighting is also needed for our overall, feeling. In the night, unnecessary too much saving in lighting, I am not in favor particularly. Maximum, you should see that efficient lights are provided, because there are many more bigger areas to save energy rather than light. But we end up only talking of switch off lights. Fans, refrigerators, AC, smart users and ACs, much more scope is there in those rather than lights. And lights are needed. Let us not unnecessarily think too much of for saving unnecessary switching of lights which are required actually.
Okay.
Conservation should not happen at the cost of safety and all that.
Mandatory electrical safety audit once in a year by chartered electrical safety engineers. This should avoid fire. there is some regulation, CA regulation, but it is not being followed. Any thoughts on that, Dr. Arora? We have regulation, we have standard, but it's not being followed. So what is your views on that?
We have to enforce regulation. We have to develop good mechanism to enforce all the prevailing existing regulation we have to avoid that disaster we are getting every day. News of that disaster we are getting. This is the only way. We have to find out that mechanism to enforce all this law, and we have to start giving our bit. At least from our side, we can give attention to all the safety required. And with the charity starts from home, and you have to give your bit. Definitely the people will look at that thing and they will understand the importance of the safety after that.
Okay, another one quick question. Whether fire insurance cover is applicable to substation and transformers due to electrical hazards? Because substation is basically handling a lot of currents, voltage, everything. So whether insurance cover will be applicable for that? Any views on that?
Presently, I think it is not there.
Okay. So, fire protection system are to install in substation transformer, which is now slowly being implemented. Government should instruct insurance company to insure government properties, which is not there at present. Okay, government. But let us start, as Dr. Aras says, charity begins at home. We need to do it in our home. I think we have almost taken all the question. Just a minute. If the home appliances are not running but supply to them are on, how much of real energy will be consumed? Whether the ghost energy is such a huge, I think SUSA presentation says that 6,000 rupees per year some amount I have seen. I think SUSA, we want to take some provide some thought on that. How much of real ghost energy? It is so big that you need to switch off all the when they are not on.
See, ghost consumers, TV, DVD, remotes, then including if you see thermostat also we have we have shown thermostat are also indirectly a ghost consumer, because if it is not set right properly, without your knowledge, it is causing the consumption in compressor or in heating and all that. And then leaving the mosquito mats on. Now mosquito mats consume 6 to 8 watt. So now you are thinking it is it is not consuming much, but if you calculate, it comes to more. So there maybe we home have 4 or 5 mosquito. So all these things which are left on or which are having hidden some things. So those
One
are
hand
all,
has been raised. Okay, sir. Okay, I got it. Yes, ghost energy definitely it will consume some energy. Let us stop that energy.
up to 100
Yes.
watt I have seen, up to 100 watt load is ghost consumer load.
Yes.
So 100 into 24 hours.
Okay.
I have seen many homes.
This small drops adds a lot of values. So let us conserve energy wisely. Now A to Z engineer, I could say the hand has been raised. Please, any query, any questions? A to Z energy engineers. With A to Z energy engineers. Okay. So might be now almost we have closed all the question and session, and there are a lot of good words to Dr. Arora and SUSA. Very nicely presented. Yes, everybody wants some PPT. Definitely we'll share this PPT. We request a monetary contribution of 200 rupees, and in the link it is there. You can pay that amount. We'll share the PPTs and also we'll share the participation certificate. This will help the mission to go on. And also there are Rajiv Jain Sahab has told about to start a Urja Mitra project, and for sensitizing the students. Yes, students are the key for saving electricity, for the electrical safety, and he want to name sustainability club. Okay, SUSA has already replied to that. and very wonderful sessions, and and lot of good words for two of you, sir.
Thank
So-
you once again, sir, giving this opportunity to give presentation on the safety and energy conservation, and mind-blowing presentation as usual by Sood Saab. Hats off to you. Thank you, everyone.
And then just quickly, I'll brush the Mission Sustainable India snapshot, and I will take few slides, and I hope.
Good evening, may I come in?
Let me just present that.
Hello. Hello, good evening, may I come in for a while?
Yeah.
Hello. Hello.
Sir, please, you're audible.
Good evening, good evening. Thank you very much. Actually, I just had a glimpse of Sood Saab presentation, and the question answer sessions very nicely answered with all kinds of empirical details. Actually, I wanted to add for that two things. Some megawatt was there, so which you Sood Saab very nicely explained. So as we have briefly told in between also that we are always thinking of supply side management, but what actually is demand side management, we have to always control it. We have to always control. So that is what actually Sood Saab was trying to say when he was going for the megawatt concept. And one thing actually, insurance of this substations. Actually, in the electricity sector, when insurance is done, there is it is more of the ensuring protective devices. When you are going for the insurance of any electricity sector, then you have to ensure whether all your protective devices are on, sprinklers are very well active. So insurance agency will ensure this and keep on auditing this. So it is very much there. And this requires more of the protectiveness than ensuring it only on the financial things. So these kinds of things are required for the ensuring electrical system and substations or grid substations or whatever. So this is what I wanted to add. Thank you very much. Very interactive, very nice,
Yes.
very nice.
Thank you, sir. Adding to that, even the petrol pump are also insured. So I hope the
Yes.
electrical substation, power plant,
Yes,
because
yes.
OPDCL pays a lot of insurance charges. So those things can be insured. For our insurance coverage available, but
No,
we need to check.
it is available. That is we have also, but that all kinds of safety measurements that we have to ensure it, and that we have to do declaration also, and then audit it also periodically. Those who are in this line now, ensuring the electricity line, so they
Yes.
know how to ensure it.
Okay, thank you, Anil Shah. Very nice views from you. Now coming to my last PPT, it will take max 5 minutes. On behalf of Utkal Chamber of Commerce, I am the co-chairman of Electricity and Power Committee, and I am also General Secretary of IMP, and it is really a core committee member of Mission Sustainable India. It gives me a lot of pleasure when I see all of you, and we are taking up this particularly this type of sessions. And this session is being conducted under Mission Sustainable India banner, and I just want to throw some light what is MSI. Now, MSI is basically to transform our world so that no one is left behind. Now, we all know about UN's SDG goal 2030. We believe this goal will not be achievable because we are not really recommending for structural changes in the governance, bureaucracy, media, judiciary. So in the Mission Sustainable India, we believe that structural changes are required in bureaucracy, governance, judiciary, and media, so that we will be able to achieve the UN SDG goal 2030. Now, in the Mission Sustainable India vision document, we have prepared 3 volumes of vision document. It has been under circulation. You can purchase it in the Amazon and other media. And what we have recommended that citizens have to be empowered so that they can make a public demand for the structural changes. And we think that all 5P have to be aligned, 5P of sustainability, that is planet, this means environmental, people means social, prosperity means economic sustainability, peace, partnership. All these have to be aligned, and they have to be given equal budget, equal equitable fund, so that we align, and then the sustainability will be achieved. Similarly, we also say that a code of conscience should be set up so that judiciary can function in a more sustainable way, and mass media has to be sensitized for reporting in terms of sustainable development. And we also have given some recommendations on technical domains like sustainable water, sustainable transport, sustainable energy, and which are for alignment of the 5 Ps. So this is all about the vision document. These are the 3 volumes which are in public domain. You can always purchase it. Volume 1 deals with sustainable citizen, governance, bureaucracy, judiciary. Then volume 2 represents on mass media communication, sustainable education, habitat, health and well-being, food system. You will find a lot of good thoughts, good amount of views, and good recommendations, what exactly we mean to say. And these are the vision document to take India into a sustainable development path. In the volume 3, it is sustainable energy, water, transportation, production, manufacturing, sustainable tourism. Volume 4 is basically it keeps on developing and updating, and it is from the people contributions. And now there are some 6 W and 1 S. That means why, what, how. All the question has been asked, and that we try to answer in the Mission Sustainable India. Now, we intend that India development should be need-based, not greed-based, and we believe that we need this vision MSI for the common people actually who have suffered a lot due to unsustainable growth. Resources are finite, they are not infinite, so we have to conserve. And how it can begin? It has to begin through all public participation. We should avoid silo level of working. We should work in a collective manner. And I think with collective, it will possible to have a mission accomplished and take India to a sustainable development path. Now coming to the sustainable energy, we discussed, Susam has discussed, and Dr. Arora have discussed the electrical safety, but energy conservation, renewable energy, then energy conservation, energy efficiency, and renewable energy is the 3 pyramid, or the 3 center of the pyramid, which we have to act, and we discuss a lot on today's sessions. And we request, now these are the PPT, and it basically work on donations, and you can contribute. You can be a member of Mission Sustainable India, and we are presently working in a very flexible manner. Anybody can own these missions, because this is a mission for nation. And I, on behalf of Utkal Chamber of Commerce, IMT, and Mission Sustainable India, I thank you a lot for this contribution, for coming to this session and getting a views from all of us. Since already you have crossed the time, let me close the sessions, and over to you, Poonamji.
Thank you very much, sir, for such a nice MSI introduction. And we in IEMP, Indian Association of Energy Management, is taking forward this MSI mission. So I request you all to purchase these books, because sustainable India, how we can make sustainable India is being well defined in these books. So I think a great session we had today. Most of the questions we have taken, and we learned more about electrical safety and energy conservation in our residential and homes. So thanking you all people for being such a nice participant and such a nice member of this discussion. So thank you all to the panelists, and thank you very much, Sunil Sood sir, Arora sir, and Anil sir especially. He gave a quick his views on the total discussion and enlightened us. So thank you very much all. Have a great night. Good night. Thank you very much all. Namaskar.
Namaskar, namaskar. Thank you very much. Thank you.